You know, the deal for the next couple days here is how slow can you go? And what I mean by that is we're fishing out in Devil's Lake in North Dakota. And this is a great walleye fishery. The problem is we've run into some tough conditions. The water temperature has dropped about 5 or 6 degrees. A big cold front came through. Thankfully, the weather's straightening out, or supposed to straighten out a little bit. So what we've had to do is actually go really slow and use one of the slowest techniques there is, and that's called slip bobbers. Devil's Lake is kind of unique because it's got tons and tons of areas you can slip bobber fish in, but you're fighting this, wood. Okay, so it's kind of combat bobber fishing. So I'm fishing with a professional walleye angler, Jim Carroll. We're actually getting ready for a tournament here. We're going to show you how to use slip bobbers and wood and help you get the next bite.
Devil's Lake is North Dakota's largest natural lake and has expanded over 5 times its original size in the last 20 years. This has created massive amounts of sometimes hazardous but unique structure to fish. And although this may not have been good for the residents living around the lake, it has been great for the residents who live in the lake. Not just for the walleye, but another familiar toothy critter as well.
Pike, we don't want no stinking pike.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it. This one's kind of a floater. I'm not sure if it'll hold us or not, but we can try.
Maybe it's float back a little. We want to go back a little bit anyhow. You know, maybe you can just tell people what you actually look for when you're out here on Devil's Lake. I mean, there's literally millions of trees and lots of shoreline with trees, but obviously you're looking for something a little bit special, Jim.
Well, this is a nice little spot right here because it's relatively flat. The boat's probably in about 6 feet of water here. And as we'll pan around, you'll see there's a lot of brush in the water. And that's what we're looking for this time of year.
So not those great big logs out here.
We're not looking for big round trees in the water. We're looking for this little brushy stuff. And that's what the walleye is really keying on this time of year.
So a flat and brush and 6 feet of water.
That'll work for Devil's Lake walleyes.
I got one.
You got one?
Feels like a decent fish.
That looks like a good fish, sure.
Hope it doesn't get in that wood. We are on wood.
There's a walleye.
Not real big. Nice fish.
Yeah. That little fish.
You want to grab him? That's nice, that 15-pound fluorocarbon. You can kind of just lift them right in.
Yeah.
Pink and purple, green and white jig, huh?
It's a tank.
Yeah.
I mean, not a very big fish, but look at how fat and healthy
What Jim
that
means
fish
by
is.
that is a tank is he's just a fat, hard, strong fish. Very, very nice. Very nice fish. Yeah, we'll get him back in the water. There we go. And back in there. Slow swim. Back down to the depths.
Right back to the wood.
To the wood. Looking for that hot spot. A lot of times when we first pull into an area, you just kind of fan cast all over trying to figure out where they might be laying, because you obviously can't tell, but if there's something a little on the bottom, a log or something they like, or a brush pile. So you just throw the bobbers in all different areas, hopefully get a bite. Sun's finally coming out.
Okay, when we first get to our spot, we got to set up our slip bobber for depth. Okay, so we're going to take a snap weight, pinch it on our jig here, and then we'll set it over the side and see where we're at. Okay, we're a little bit too high, so now what we want to do is we want to take and slide our slip knot down the line. I got to slide it down about 6 inches. I want to end up with my jig, say, about 6 inches up off the bottom. All right, so we'll just recheck it here. Okay, that's perfect. Take our sinker off the jig here. Now we're ready to go fishing. Bobber down, bobber down.
Where?
Right out there. I got him. Feels all right.
Good
Feels
one?
like a good one. Feels like a walleye.
Oh yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Can't believe how good you can see in this water.
Get him, Keith, get him.
I got him. Good one, Jim. There we go.
Devil's Lake walleye.
That's a nice one there. Chunky and fat. There, just got him. Perfect. 1/8 ounce jig. Look at how fat he is. It's the right time of year to be fat.
Nice fish.
Just barely had him. Perfect.
Nice Devil's Lake walleye.
That is a good one right there.
Beautiful fish.
Boy, you caught him right in the corner of the mouth here, huh? Well, let's get her back in the water.
The sun came out and the walleye started to bite.
Perfect. There she is. Perfect.
The bobber that Keith and I are using today has a few unique features. It's a weighted bobber. There's an 1/8 ounce weight down here in the bottom of the cap, so it casts really well. It flies through the air like a yard dart. And it also features this counterweight, which is something that no other weighted bobber has. Any other weighted bobber in the market will always stand straight up and down in the water like this, regardless of whether your jig's on the bottom or not, because of the weight in the bottom of the cap. But because we have this counterweight, this bobber will actually lay over on its side if our jig is on the bottom. And that's a really neat feature for when we're fishing these flats on Devil's Lake, because a lot of times we're casting towards shore and the water might be a lot shallower in there than right next to the boat. So when our bobber is laying on the side, we know it's set too deep. So we'll reel it in, we'll slide our bobber knot down, and we'll throw it back out. And if it stands up straight, we've got the right depth.
Right there, Jim. Bobber down, right between those two trees, Jim. Jim, right between the trees there, right there.
Oh,
right
bobber
there.
down, bobber down. Oh yeah, I got him.
What is it?
I think it's a pike. No, it's a walleye. It's a walleye. Gotta get him out of that, around that tree. Here he comes.
You got him.
Here he comes.
Ready? Hold
Get
on
out of
to
that tree. Come on. Get
Hold
out
on.
of the tree.
Get him. I got him. Nice fish.
Nice fish.
Very good. Boy, the weather's kind of calmed down a little. We got on the lee side of this island here. And
It's just beautiful and sunny.
these fish must be like cruising around on these areas just looking for them shrimp or bugs or something. But he found the pink bug.
Yeah.
Kind of like shrimp here.
Walleye candy.
Man, you wouldn't have lost him. Perfect hook set. There we go. Nice fish.
Beautiful fish.
Very, very good. Devil's Lake.
Wood walleyes.
Here we go. Put him right back. Right there's a log with shrimp on it, Jim. We'll let him go right down to that. There you go. Go eat some shrimp, buddy.
That was cool.
The real deal. Straight talk to make you a better fisherman. Brought to you by Bass Pro Shops.
You know, a slip bobber is kind of a cool setup because you can fish a lot of different depths, but still be able to cast that bobber and the jig out there. So let me talk about the components that go into making up a slip bobber. The first thing on your line is going to be one of the more crucial things. That's called your bobber stop. In our case, what we're using is just a heavy piece of line here that you actually tie right onto your fishing line, and that bobber stop can slide up and down your line. So you can slide that to wherever you want, so you can fish any depth you want. Then comes your bobber, and this is simply a sliding bobber that moves up and down the line. Then next what I use is something to stop this bobber from sliding down too far. In my case, I use a snap swivel, so it just stops that bobber from coming down. Now next is a piece of leader material. What I like to use here is fluorocarbon. And since we're fishing around a lot of wood and heavy cover, what I use here is 15-pound leader material. Very, very heavy, very, very stout, but because it's fluorocarbon, it's going to be clear underwater so the fish won't see it real well. And then finally you come down to the working end of your system here, and we're just using either an 1/8 ounce jig when it's a little windier, or a 16th ounce jig and a couple small leeches on there. As far as the main line on your bobber setup, what we're using here is 14-pound fire line, again because we're kind of combat bobber fishing here, we're in heavy cover. So 14-pound, we're also using the highly visible flame green line so that you can kind of see where your line is weaving through these trees and stuff. So that visibility is good. Again, the fish won't see it because they're actually seeing this fluorocarbon. Then lastly, what you want to use is a pretty long rod for bobber fishing. When you actually get a fish on when you're bobber fishing, you need to a lot of times bring up a lot of line and a lot of slack to get a good hook set on the fish. So a nice long rod is very important. We use an 8.5-foot rod for this. So again, slip bobbers are a cool situation because they allow you to fish any depth basically that you want to, but yet be able to cast that bobber into very tight situations.
Sight Bites. Answers to questions from the Next Bite website. Brought to you by Purina.
Rex, you want to go get this? Go get it. Attaboy. You know, we seem to have wireless remote controls for everything nowadays. You've got it for your television, you've got wireless remotes for your satellite, your cable. We've even got wireless remotes for our dogs. This week's Site Bite question has to do with wireless technology. Folks from the website want to know, what's the best application for a wireless trolling motor?
I'm trolling bottom bouncers off the back of the boat with a trolling motor. The reason that I can do that is I've got a wireless foot pedal. Allows me to steer literally from any position in the boat. Now that's not a big deal if I want to jig fish off the front of the boat, but it is a big deal for other applications. Bottom bouncer fishing is a good example of that application. The reason I say that is usually you've got a guy in the front of the boat trolling with 2 rods, in many states you can, and another guy in the boat with 2 rods. Well, they're literally trolling on top of each other and you get tangles very easily. By fishing this way off the back of the boat, I could literally load this whole back end up with bottom bouncers. Typically, I could use those same 4 rods that we talked about, use them in rod holders, spread them out, and then turn the boat from the front end with the bow mount using this foot pedal, steer whatever contours I want, and eliminate my tangles. The other time that I see this type of technology being used a lot is guys who like to troll from the seat behind their console. A lot of people, especially when it's windy, like to sit there, hold their hand rod with their bottom bouncer. You can do that with this type of trolling motor. So if you like that type of flexibility, if that's the type of walleye fishing you really like to do, then these types of bow mounts are the way to go.
Remember, on the Next Bite website, you can get answers to your questions, you can join the forum, read articles, tips, all to help you get your next bite. You want your next bite, Rex? There you go.
Jim, I got one.
You got one?
He's up in that log.
You're in the wood. You're never gonna get that fish out of there. Wrapped you up around that little tree.
There he comes. There, I got him. I got him.
You got him out of the wood.
Get the net. He's a decent one too, Jim. Get him.
There you go.
I was gonna be a real,
right in the tree.
I was gonna be a real smart guy and throw it on the downside of that log. Down goes the bobber. Then I didn't know what to do with it.
There you go. Nice fish.
I had to drag him right over the tree to get him out of it. This is definitely a combat bobber fishing here, boy. Look at how green he is, huh?
Yeah, nice Devil's Lake fish.
Well, look at how he's got it.
He ate it.
He really ate that jig. Boy, he's way down in there.
Yes.
Can you grab them pliers up there for me, Jim? Right up on the front deck. Thank you. Yeah, he really had it down in here, but it'll be all right. It's not in anything critical.
Green jig.
There we go. Nice green jig for a green walleye. Pretty one. Well, I'm going to put him right back in so he can go back over by his log over there.
Yeah, where he's hanging out.
There he goes.
Hey, my bobber's down right beside the boat. Bobber down.
Where is it?
Bobber down. Oh, I got him. I got him. I got him.
Get the net. What is it?
Feels like a walleye. Get the net, G. Come on. You're
Ready,
good,
Jim.
Here he comes. Here he comes. I got him.
Oh, is that a nice one? Right next to the boat.
Right, yeah.
Much like living in the shadow of the tractor.
He's only about 3 feet away from the boat.
Look at there, that's a nice one.
Pretty fish.
I mean, he was like right there.
Yeah, I mean, it was right there. I looked away and I did the old look back and I was like, had to do double take. Where'd the bobber go? Come on.
Nice one, look at pink jig.
Yeah.
Very
That
nice
worked good.
fish. Look at a funny little deal here. Sometime he was caught or got caught on something. Very nice, right next to the boat. Good job, Jim. Put him right back by the trees that he likes so much. There you go.
Nice fish.
Very nice. Here, bobber down. Bobber down.
Bobber down. Way back there?
Yeah, I was letting it drift.
I got it. That's a pike.
It's a walleye, Jim.
It's a walleye.
What? It's a walleye.
Jumped like a pike.
Yeah, I know, it's a walleye.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I saw the white tip.
What
Come on,
is
get
a
right
walleye?
back. It's a walleye. It's
Big
a walleye.
walleye.
I
It's a
told you, I
big
thought it was a
walleye.
big round mouth in it.
He jumped out of the water right after he hit.
All right, just come on right back here with me, Jim. Jim, I'm gonna lead him right to you. He's a good one.
It's a nice fish.
I thought he was a pike too, but
He jumped out of the water when you
Oh,
set
look at
the
this
hook.
one, Jim.
All right. Do you see when he jumped?
I kind of, you know, I thought it was a pike too, the way he was running around. But when he came out of the water like that, I saw a big white mouth.
Well, I saw it jumping and I automatically assumed it had to be a pike.
Oh, look at there.
What a fish.
Now that is a great fish. Heavy.
Yeah.
That thing, I mean, he's not super long, but he is just massively, I mean, like
That's a brick, man.
a brick. I will say he's a brick. Man, is that a great fish. Green and white jig head, 1/8 ounce. Couple leeches on there, the old twin tail.
The split tail.
Man, but
Beautiful
I mean,
fish.
it's just like you said, it flew me too, because I set the hook and the thing came up and it's kind of splashing on the surface, and the only thing I saw though was this. I saw a big white mouth, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, we've seen a lot of pike today. I haven't seen none with a big white mouth like that.
Beautiful fish.
That is a great fish.
Here's a little tip for aspiring pro fishermen. If you're on the road and have a lovely wife at home, and it's Mother's Day, the best thing to do is to write a nice poem. That's what I'm trying to quick get done before we go fishing.
We'll get him now, Jim. The North Dakota Fish Finder.
We have a little saying here in the Dakotas, wherever the cows are near the water, the walleyes will be there.
I hear ya. They're here. Got one?
Oh, I missed him! No!
You loser.
Loser. And it.
Oh, there went your rod. Grab that net. Take the net.
Pikula! Pikula!
The Next Bite would like to thank the folks at Woodland Resort, Devil's Lake's only full-service premier fishing destination facility. For more information on guides and lodging services, give them a call or visit them on the web at woodlandresort.com.